everyone, it's Michelle from Scrap Secrets and welcome to a crafty video. So in this video, I want to use the Mama Elephant Cityscape Die that I got last week in the Memorial Day sale. Well, I ordered it a couple weeks ago, but it showed up, I think, last week. And the haul video is the one right before that if you want to go check it out and see what else I got from Mama Elephant. But anyway, I decided that I wanted to use this die. I didn't want to use the straight die in this one. I just wanted to try out a technique, and I wanted to do a night sky with the skyscraper in the background. However, I wanted the little windows here because if you can see, they all, as you can see through the background, they all cut out. Super cool, so you can do some cool techniques behind it. So what I thought would be really neat is if I had yellow behind it like they were lit up. Had my goddaughter over the other day and we were making shirts for her class. They were doing, she's Ireland in her field day. So we made a bunch of shirts for her class and I gave her some sticky notes to write the people's names and put them on top of the shirts. Great idea, and so I had the post-it notes in my craft room and I thought that I would use these. So they're the long ones and at the very top they're sticky. Thought I was being super smart, put this through the die cut machine. However, I put it the wrong side up, so the sticky part is on the front side of the mask. Not a problem because I have some leftover Zig 2A glue pens, and actually this is a good one. Sorry, let me show you. So, well, I'll keep that one out to show you the difference. So when the tip like this is blue, show you, and then the tip like this is white, so you can see hopefully you can see the difference here with the lighting. I'm just trying to see in the camera and it looks like you can kind of see the difference. So this is the one that's blue and this is the one that's white here. When it turns white, it's repositionable. So even if you use this one and the blue and let it dry for a while, the glue will turn white and you'll be able to reposition this. So that's what I did. I just put some of that on the back of it, kind of let it dry. So as you can kind of hear, it's a little bit tacky. So I kind of just put it all over. And let me see, I don't know if you can see the actual glue marks on here, but trust me, there are. So I was trying to figure out how to do this. So my first thought was to just kind of use this, put a little stencil in place, kind of trace around the outside, put this over top of it, and then just protect that area, and then go back and ink this area up with the yellow distress ink in Squeeze Lemonade. Then I got an even better idea to use it as a stencil because it's kind of what it is. I'm just gonna, my paper trimmer, I needed to change the blade, so I just have to kind of cut that end off because there's just like a little piece hanging off. But anyway, so that's what I want to do. I want to use this as a stencil. So let's see how well this works. Never done this before, so I'm just gonna kind of line it up on the bottom and try to make it as even as possible. This kind of comes up here, and then this will help us. It'll give us it'll be a stencil and a mask, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna ink off of this to create the background so the background doesn't go into the yellow. Now, I've taken this really tiny brush, and this is from the rose gold brush set that I got. If you saw my haul video on these, I got two different sets, the Duramy and the Yusung. I think it's Yusung, and I think this is the smallest one in the Yusung. They're just about the same size, so I'm gonna try them both out and see how they work. Now with this, you're gonna have to be super, super careful because these holes are really tiny, and then when you get close to the top, you're going to be close to the sides. So you're just gonna really wanna dab in there carefully. Like I said, I've never done this before, so we're just gonna see how this kind of plays out. So hopefully this is putting ink down in the correct spots so that I will have inky windows. And again, I wanna use this just like a stencil, which is kind of cool because now I can make my own stencils, and I just wanna see how this is doing. Again, getting to the edges are gonna be super, super careful not to go into the go off the stencil. So I'm trying to, if you can see this here, I'm trying to push away from the edges, and it's okay if I don't get all of the windows lit up, because, you know, not every single window is lit up at night. There are some people who actually don't like the nighttime, or they actually go to bed early. I wouldn't know what that's like because I am a night owl. I'm usually up to all hours of the morning, which makes literal mornings horrible. So we're gonna just do this right now, and then I'm gonna ink up this other one and see how, and let you guys know how, which ones, oh, this one's definitely better for this. This one is a little bit more firm. So I'm just trying to be super careful here. This one is definitely more firm, and it was easier to kind of push the color through. I feel like it's more like a brush, and it feels like it's easier. So there are pros and cons to both kinds of brushes. They were both fairly inexpensive off of Amazon. And again, I have a video on my channel a few back talking about these brushes. These are the ones that I got off of Amazon. These are not the life-changing brushes, either one of them. I know that a lot of people who are crafting are using these. However, these ones are makeup brushes that I got off of Amazon. And like I keep saying, I got off Amazon. Actually, when my goddaughter was here this weekend, she said to me, oh, I have those makeup brushes. And I was like, well, you actually use them for makeup. I am using them for crafting. So she was trying to figure out what I was actually using them for crafting. So I think I did get a little bit of yellow outside, but you know what? This isn't perfect. This is handmade, and I know that you guys are probably getting bored watching this, but just wanted to show you guys. So here is the yellow. All right, so now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this over to the side. So that was the Squeeze Lemonade Distress Ink. Now, I'm going to do, it's going to go, black's gonna be at the top, and then I'm gonna have purple, and then I think it's gonna go, or it's gonna go blue to purple. I think that's what it is. So now we're going to attempt this. I'm gonna see how well this works, because again, this mask is pretty flimsy, and I'm gonna try not to put a lot of ink on it. I'm gonna try to push the ink away from the stencil rather than putting it, like blending over top of the stencil. So we might have like a little bit of an outline between the two, but I'm okay with that. So we'll see how this comes out. So this is Dusty Concord. And again, I'm just going to ink up my brush. So this is the Yosang, or this is the, sorry, the Dorami brushes. So I'm probably going to get a little bit of the, oh shoot, that is not going to work because that's going to change the colors behind it purple. So right there, I just did a foul. That is not going to work to do these. So I'm gonna have to try to figure this out, because now I have some purple windows. That really didn't work out for me, now did it? So kind of have that. The other thing that I can do is I can trace out a piece of yellow cardstock and put it behind there. But, so we'll just see, I'll leave this in. I will actually keep this in the video, and I'll show you guys. I'll actually take this mask off, and I will show you guys what it looks like with the building behind it. Actually looks kind of cool, and I do have some yellow spots on the outside, but it does look really cool with the yellow. I'm not sure how much you can see. Oh, look at the yellow behind it. You can see it. Wow, you can see it on the video. That kind of works. I have to try to figure out something, however, to do so that we don't turn these boxes purple like we just did here. Not going to work, but look at how cool, but look at the crisp line that actually got. I'm actually super impressed. So you know what? I'm actually gonna, let's just go with it. Let's just see how this will come out. Let's just kind of, let's play around. So this is, you know, all kinds of making mistakes and that kind of stuff. So let's just push off of here. Maybe we'll just try not to go, like try to go off the mask and try not to get, so just maybe the top ones will have some of it in there. Well, you know, it is what it is. Some of them will be purple. Let's see how good this Post-it note does as a stencil or as a mask. So let's take this off and let's just see. Now obviously my mask moved a little bit, but look at how awesome that is as a mask. Now this is just regular, cheap Post-it notes. I don't even think these are real Post-it notes. These might be the, you know, the generic ones that you get at the dollar store. But look at how cool that is. Now I'm wondering if I come back in, let me see if I do this, because this might be another option. Now I have some Distress Oxide. Now Oxide will go over top of what's already there. So I'm gonna try to see if I do take the Distress Oxide, and I'm gonna use the brush, the Duramy one. I'm gonna see if I can color over this. Okay, it's giving me a little bit of color. So let's see. Let's try a little bit, and then we'll just try to put, that's awesome. Oh, it does, it works really, really well. Okay, so there we go. We figured out how to fix it. Since Distress Oxide kind of sits on top of it, it's actually giving it a cool look because it makes the windows stand out a little bit more. So I'll show you the difference between the ones where there's no purple behind it, and then you can kind of just go in, and if you use it as a stencil first, and don't worry about if you get some of that purple on there. So again, learning as I'm going. So I'm gonna, you know, leave this whole thing in the video and show you that mistakes are never mistakes. What did Bob Ross used to say? Happy accidents. Is that what he used to say? A happy little that she's a happy little accident. So you'll be able to see, and hopefully you'll be able to see this. You really, really can't notice a difference between where the purple was. Look at that. You can see the yellow right through it. So, okay. So if I was going to start all over again and do this all over, so maybe we'll just kind of play around on the back of it. Let's just, for laughter, let's just kind of do this opposite of the way that I thought we were going to have to do this. Okay. So since this has some purple down here, and it's really not going to matter, let's just put this mask down. Now, I probably wouldn't use this a second time. I probably would do a different mask just because I don't think that the masks can take this much ink and stuff, especially since this is a Post-it note. It's not actually something that is meant to have ink on top of it. But we're going to try again, and this is just, you know, learning right here. So we're gonna just kind of brush the purple over top of it, try to get a nice soft blend in here. Now for bigger areas, I do like the rose gold brushes a little bit better. So I'm kind of thinking the small brushes are probably the Duramy brushes. These the heads of these brushes move around a little bit too much, so let's grab a rose gold one. These are a little bit more sturdy, so I find that they work a little bit better when you're blending things in. So we're just gonna, I want to do the background real quick. And again, this is the back side of the paper, and there was some ink on it, and there was some other things, so it may not give the best results, but you guys will get the idea. And again, I just did the wrong thing. You're gonna want to go, again, off the mask, away from the mask, instead of what I just did, which was coloring over it, because now it keeps lifting up. So you're gonna wanna go off the mask. Try to push from the center off of the mask. Again, we're gonna blend these colors out. So you're probably not gonna need the mask on for much longer, but you just want a little bit of, you know, a little bit of that purple in there. And now the next color we're gonna grab is, so that was Dusty Concord from Distress Ink. And then we're gonna wanna do Chipped Sapphire. And then this one, you're gonna wanna come in from the side. Again, kind of just blend it in there. These blend so beautifully. I'm really, really loving the way this is. And there's a little bit of texture to this paper. If you notice that there is has some white behind it. You'll notice that it's the texture of the paper that's kind of picking that up. So just gonna kind of gently go in there. Now if this lifts up and you get some purple on there, that's okay because the black part of the building is going to be behind it. Now if you were doing these with Distress Oxides on, let me just use this so I don't get stuff on my fingers. If you were doing this with Distress Oxides on black and you were using the black paper as your, what you wanted to be underneath the mask, you're going to want to make sure your mask is fully put down, but we're using the black cardstock over top of that. I hope that made sense. And now we're just going to keep going back and forth with the purple and the blue until we have like a fairly good blend. And again, this is not going to be perfect. This is just going to kind of, I'm going to show you guys this. And then we're going to go in at the very top. We're going to put a little bit more Chip Sapphire. I think we're going to do Chip Sapphire all the way to the top. And then we're going to come in with some black soot over top of that. Now, if you guys have seen people do this lately with the Post-it or the washi tape over their hands, it's just to keep their hands clean when they're doing this inking, or as clean as possible. Sorry, that was in the way, guys. Just trying to keep it as clean as possible when you were doing these inkings. This is not the one I used. I used this one, right? No. What one did I use for purple? I used this one for purple. It's so easy to get a nice blend with these. You just have to go back in a couple times. These brushes don't put down as much color as the Tim Holtz brushes do. At least that's what I'm finding, but it still isn't hard. This is like the really inexpensive paper that you get from Michaels or AC Moore, but it still does give a really, really nice blend with these brushes. So I'm gonna put these brushes to the side because I'm gonna wash those off, and then I'm gonna go back in. We're gonna do it with some black soot and just at the very, very top, kind of darken that up. And it gives a very nice dark black night sky. Go back in with the black soot here. And then it's gonna, it's gonna fade to the blue and then to the purple. And sometimes you can kind of just go down here along the edges, kind of make some of it come down darker, some of it be lighter. It doesn't have to be uniform across the page. So that is how it looks so far. And again, I would come back in if I was really, really doing this for a project. I would come back in and I would blend these colors out a lot nicer so there wasn't this harsh line. But I just want to do this quickly for you guys. Now you have your purple here. So now let's take the Distress Oxide and quickly just start. And I said I like the Duramy brushes better. Just kind of want to wipe some of this up because there's a lot of ink on this, which is great to work on the craft mat. So the Distress, oops, I bent that just a little bit. Okay, so the Distress Oxide, again, this sits on top of the paper. So you're gonna get a nice dark color, a dark yellow here when you go to put these, put your project over it. So you just kind of want to color anywhere where there's dots. You can see there's a lot of them. Just be careful to try not to get those out of there. Like this one is probably, these skinny ones are probably super tough. And I just definitely got some yellow there, but that's okay. Just do this fairly quick. Again, I'm doing this a lot quicker. You would actually be taking your time as you were doing this and going through, and I just got some more yellow outside, but it's okay. You want to make sure you would take your time and get those dots in there. You could probably use another kind of tool to go back in and do that. So now let's just place this over top and look at what it looks like. Also, we need some yellow down here. We obviously didn't get any dots. I didn't know that we had dots down there, but if there are dots on the other side, because the mask, we didn't go down that far with the purple, but if you do this, and it kind of looks like the building is lit up from the back when you do this. Obviously, you're going to glue this down so you won't see the white behind it, but look at that. You can see the yellow behind it, and here, and then the night sky. So I hope this helps a little bit, and I like to leave my mistakes in most of my videos because it's a learning process and it shows you guys, you know, some of the things that you should or shouldn't do when you're going about making a project, and then hopefully that will save you guys time and energy and frustration, because I know that it is very frustrating when you're crafting and things don't come out right, but that's an awesome way to be able to use a Post-it note to do stenciling and then not even having to worry about it, because if you have Distress Oxide, it goes right over. If you were just going to use regular Distress ink, it would blend the colors together and it wouldn't look right, but Distress Oxide will sit on top of it, so you'll really see that yellow more than the purple, and you don't have to worry about anything. So there is the, once I put this back on, there is the completed project, and you can see a little bit came behind it, but it kind of looks like the building is just like there's a building behind it and being lit up from behind. So I'm going to definitely make this into a card. This was, you know, this was an oops that turned out to be a wow. I'm fairly impressed with the way that it came out. Again, we're using Cityscapes from Mama Elephant, or Cityscape from Mama Elephant, and some Distress inks and Distress Oxides with the Durami and the Yosing brushes. So if you guys have any comments or questions about this project or anything else that I've done, send me a message or leave a comment below and I will get back to you. If you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button and even the bell so you can be notified of new videos. I just posted a video of the first part of the in-depth tour of my craft room. I will be getting to more parts of the craft room in the coming weeks. I think my desk might be the next thing that I do with this, my crafting area, as soon as I can get it cleared off. So hopefully that will be sometime this week, and I'll get something up maybe over the weekend. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Bye!